Well, when Ed first asked me if I would speak at the Humor Masters, I thought, yeah. I spoke at the initial meeting, and that was pretty funny. I've been a student of humor since like 1986 when I joined Toastmasters. I've done the breakout sessions, they've been relatively funny, and I even wrote a book on being funny. So I thought, I can do that, I'm up for the challenge. Oh wait, I've got to be funny. Can you imagine a speech on humor where I wasn't funny? Okay. I said, I'm up for the challenge. Okay, I can do that. But I've got some demands then. So I said, Ed, I want my own dressing room. I want my name on it. I want a star above it. He says, you want a separate dressing room? Yeah. And I want to be a rock star too, so I want a bowl of green M&Ms. And he says, okay. So I get here, I'm looking in the parking lot for my trailer. You know, with the lights in it, and there's nothing here. And Ed says, I said, so where's my dressing room? And he goes, you wanted a separate dressing room, right? Yeah. He goes, it's down at the Burger King on Imperial Highway. Okay, so where's my bowl of green M&Ms? And he goes, well, here, there's probably a couple of green ones in here. Okay, so what did I just do? What did Victor just do up here? Hopefully in the back of your mind you're going, this wasn't just pre-talk that I've always done. A lot of times I like to create one on the fly when I get here. And I've been able to pull it off, actually to my surprise, that when you walk in the door, you can look, and kind of personalize a joke. There's these two guys that every day they walk their dogs, take the dogs out for a walk, come back at lunchtime and they cook lunch, they make lunch. Well, this time they got into this great conversation. So they're walking. Guy looks at his watch, it's 1:30, and we're an hour from home. We're not going to make it back in time for lunch. We got to eat around here then. Well, there's a Denny's right there. Well, let's eat at Denny's. The other guy says, well, I'm not leaving my dog outside. The guy says, yeah, I'm not going to leave my dog out either. What are we going to do? The guy says, I know. I'll walk in and I'll act like it's my seeing eye dog. And if it works for me, you come in. Okay. So the first guy walks in like this. And the host, the guy, says, wait a minute, you can't come in with the dog. And the guy says, it's okay, it's a seeing eye dog. And the host goes, okay. So he walks in and sits down. Guy outside's waiting. I guess it worked. So he walks in, starts to walk past the host. Guy says, wait a minute. You can't come in here with a dog. I said, that's okay, it's a seeing eye dog. And the guy says, a chihuahua? And the guy says, they gave me a chihuahua? Now, the reason I told that is, isn't that great? When you tell a joke, you've got to get into it with the facial expressions and all the gestures that go with it. You really got to get into it. The funny part about that joke is almost two parts of the joke, isn't it? You laugh at the first one, but you got to really get into it. I'm laughing like heck. That's funny. So I walk over to my area. He comes over to my area. There's somebody new. He tells the joke again. I just heard it 5 minutes ago. He tells it again. I'm listening. I laugh again. So you can tell jokes over again, but so you got to get into the jokes with the gestures and everything. I believe there's three types of humor. There's probably more ways to look at it, but three types of humor. Professional jokes, that you read in a book someplace. Maybe you heard Jay Leno. There's the professional written jokes. There's the professional type of jokes. Then there's the personally written jokes, the ones you wrote yourself for the occasion. I think the third one, the one I like, the impromptu, on-the-spot humor that happens when you're up here giving the presentation. Things are just working with the audience. You think of something off the spot and say it. Exactly. Oh my gosh, I don't have enough jokes in my talk. But I learned by being loose, outgoing, fun, joking, they supplied half the humor. I was comfortable and thought of jokes like heck. I go, I'm on to something. This impromptu humor works. And I figure it's because I stepped into the audience. Walking up to people like this, it's like, dude, what am I doing here as a speaker taking stuff back? And they kind of chuckled at that. Well, I, yet again, forced myself on the audience like I'm one of them, and the talk worked out again. So that's my point to you guys. Put yourself into the audience, meet them ahead of time, laugh, joke, and your presentation, they'll supply half the jokes for you, and you'll be comfortable enough with the humor. The one thing is you better know your material so you can stray from it. So you really have to know your material to stray for the jokes and to come back. ready. Because you have to practice being funny. This isn't a place to practice when you're up here. You got to practice being funny in the audience, in the supermarket, at the restaurant. Practice your jokes there, because it's going to be a little bit tougher up here. So if you think of something funny, say it. So you're kind of testing your joke. You say it out loud. The impromptu joke, you get more credit for it. It doesn't have to be as funny. And we sort of saw it today. We wanted a handout. Mike handed the guest a handout and said, that'll be $5. And we all chuckled. It doesn't take that fancy of humor to make the audience laugh. Your success as a speaker will be a direct proportion to the amount of original material you use. Yes. And the day before, the 2 days before, when you get your talk, start planning the darn thing a month out, 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out. Do the presentation, and something's going to flip in your mind to say it. Observe life, just watch things going on from a humor perspective. When somebody says something, process in your mind, how can I turn that on and make it funny? When they just say something, now we're laughing at those. That type of thing made me question my humor, my own humor. Because I think I'm kind of funny, because I can make people laugh. But this firefighter lady is, in my mind, funnier than I am. Kip Anderson, the magician, he's funnier than I am. My speaker buddy Brian Adams is funnier than I am. So when they say something, I go, those guys are funnier than I am. I'm not funny. Then I finally realized they just have a different type of humor. Their brain works different. So don't question yourself that you're not funny, because you are. Jokes. But I got to study humor and see what worked for me and what pretty much worked for an audience in the way of humor. And I found out everybody has a sense of humor. Well, everybody but my boss. He didn't. He didn't have a sense of humor. After your presentation, look back on, especially if it's videotape, look back on your presentation and find out, did they laugh where they were supposed to? And if they didn't, what happened? And what did they laugh at that you didn't think that you were surprised they laughed at? And mine was the boss thing I just said. Everybody has a sense of humor except my boss. Well, in my mind, it was legit. He didn't have a sense of humor. So when I said it, I was telling the truth. And they laughed. I went, would you look at that? That was funny. So now I know it's coming, and they're going to laugh. If you've got to go 2 steps away, the brain's got to process several things to the joke, less chance of making people laugh. Observe life. It comes from everywhere. You might, one of the things down here, start a file on jokes. You can be funny too. I thought that was just great humor. This is great humor is not written, it's rewritten. It's rewritten, because you'll come up with another way to put it, another way to put it, another way to put it. So start your writing early. Practice creating humor daily. Again, you go to the market and say, paper or plastic? I think, well, I'm going to play off that. He's like, paper or plastic? Can I get a canvas bag this time? And I see a little token laugh. I go, okay, next time. I go, how about a leather bag? I'd like to have a leather bag this time. Look at me like this. One time I said, how about, can I get a silk bag? And the box boy says, this isn't Hollywood. So not only do you get the practice, you make people's life that much more fun. They're laughing, you're laughing, and you walk out on a cloud. But you got to practice your humor daily. Don't rush the joke. You might think somebody's going to guess the punchline. It's never happened. They're not going to guess the punchline. You see it coming, and it sounds so simple to you that they're going to guess it, so you fly through it. Don't rush the joke. Take the time for the joke. If they don't laugh, wait that split second to let them know, uh-oh, why is he pausing? Did I miss something? That's going to be the longest half a second ever that you're going to have to wait, because you think that what you said wasn't funny. But you already know the joke. It's funny to you. They have to process and then laugh. So say your little thing kind of funny and give a chance to laugh. One or two for yourself. What's the one thing you want to remember after this that I brought up about humor? Not to rush the punchline.
Know your material so you're able to stray.
So you can stray from your material. Oh, because otherwise you're going to be stuck going. And so it's not memorized. Now it's a little tough.
Daily life. Yeah.
Daily life. Everything today is funny. It's just everything is funny. And I said, jot down something so you remember for later, and it'll just trigger your own brain to be thinking funny.